Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel on Land Matters. It matters that it is land, and there are matters on land that we must begin to understand, to analyze, to interrogate with a view to seeing how we can dwell on this land peacefully, all of us peacefully, and use this land sustainably for posterity and prosperity. My name is Abigail Bagaya Mukolo. I'm a land and land governance expert practicing in Kenya. On today's episode, I want to talk about cautions and restrictions. So what are cautions? This term is a very common term, and many of you know these terms, by the way, because most of the time I've had people saying at yo, nenda kuweka caution kwa shamba, oh, nenda kufunga shamba, oh, fulani amefunga shamba, si kufunga na mnyororo, amefunga na sheria. Ameenda kwa land registry, amefunga shamba ili kuzuia mtu yote kufanya kazi kwa shamba, kuuza, kutransfer ama kufanya kitu chochote katika hiyo ardhi. In other words, cautions are normally put on a title or on a piece of land by someone who has an interest in that land to prevent any other person or to prevent other persons or even the registered owner from dealing in that land in a manner that will prejudice his interest, in a manner that will injure him and cause him to suffer loss because of the nature of interest he's claiming in that land. So cautions are very good. They help preserve the status quo while people are sorting out the issues surrounding that land. Now, I've seen people, I want to give examples of how I've seen people putting cautions on land. One of them is, for example, you could be buying land, and then unasikia mwenye anakuuzia shamba, he's selling to 5 other people. So what we'll do, you'll run and go and put a caution on the land to prevent any further dealings in the land until he sorts you out. And you see, in this case, you'll be claiming a purchaser's interest. In some cases, I have seen spouses going to put a caution on a piece of land to prevent the husband in dealing in that land in a manner that is going to injure her, the wife, or maybe injure the husband or the children in any way. So you have seen them going and putting a caution in the land to prevent any dealings. In this case, she'll be claiming this is matrimonial property and I'm about to be disinherited. So I've also seen cases whereby even the registered owner may put a caution on his own land to prevent, maybe amesikia fununu kuna watu wanataka kufanya ukora, or maybe there's somebody who has acquired a name like his, which is common. Somebody can acquire a name exactly like yours and masquerade as you. So maybe amesikia fununu, ameenda amefunga shamba to prevent any dealings in the land, because sometimes somebody can masquerade identity theft, you know, they claim to be you and they'll go and deal in your things as if you are the one. So somebody can go and put, even the registered owner can put a caution on his own land to prevent dealings in that land until that particular matter has been dealt with. So cautions are good. They help preserve the status quo as the other matters that are surrounding that property are being dealt with. So now, let us say now you want to put a caution on a property. How do you do it? To put a caution in a property, you will have to visit the land registrar of the registry where that particular parcel of land is registered. Sasa kama shamba lako liko Nakuru, utavisit Nakuru Land Registry. If your land is in Nairobi, Nairobi Land Registry. If it is in Kiambu, Kiambu Land Registry. So there are registries all over the country. So wherever your piece of land is located, where your title is registered, you will go and approach the registrar in that registry and inform them that you'd like to put a caution on a particular property. They will give you the prescribed form to fill out. There's a form which you will fill out, stating that you want to put a caution on that particular property. In addition to that, the registrar will want to know the reason on why you're putting the caution on the property. She will want to know what is your interest in that property. So you may have an affidavit of support to attach to that application, stating why you are putting a caution on that property. The registrar may also ask you for a copy of the title deed of that property if you have it. In some cases, you know that, for example, a husband and wife, maybe bibi ameficha title, bwana ameficha title, you may not have it. Or even, you know, many things happen and the title may not be available to you. But the registrar will look at your affidavit and then she will make a decision on whether to put the caution or not. Thereafter, you will pay the prescribed fee. So there is a fee you pay to the government. And then thereafter, the registrar will make the decision after looking at your form that is properly filled out, looks at the affidavit in support of your claim or your interest in the land. you've paid the prerequisite fee, then she will now put a caution on the land. Now, when a caution has put on the land, it prevents the registered owner of that land in dealing in that land in any manner that is contrary to the restriction that you have put. So restrictions can really serve a very, very good purpose. So how do you know your property has a caution? You will carry out an official search on the title of that property at the land registry where that title is registered. Again, you'll apply to the land registrar to give you an official search of that particular property. So it will state that there is a caution on this property and it has been placed by so and so claiming this nature of interest. So normally the caution will say who has put it and what kind of interest they are claiming. So once now you have known that now, can the caution be removed? Yes, of course, a caution can be removed. Don't think that when you've put a caution that is the end of the matter. No, a caution can be removed. There are many ways in which cautions can be removed from a piece of land. One of them is that the registrar may give you notice on why the caution should not be removed. And if you don't respond within the time frame they have given, she will proceed to remove the caution. Or if the registrar finds that the caution that has been put there is malicious, she may also use her own judgment and remove the caution. Another way in which a caution can be removed is that the registered owner of the property can go to court and obtain a court order to remove the caution on the piece of land. So in that case, when a court order is given, the registrar will be served and the caution of the land will be removed. Another way in which the caution can be removed is by the person who put the caution removing the caution. So hata wewe mwenyewe when umeweka caution, unaweza kuwa pengine sasa mmekubaliana, you can remove the caution, then people can continue to deal in that land in any way that they would like. But there's something else that people must know, because I know that many people like running around going to put cautions, and some people you hear people saying that yo niliweka caution, hata sijui walitoa siku gani, hata sikujua, oh nilishtukia tu caution imetoka. So again, when you have these challenges, you need to go back to the land register and find out why was the caution removed. Complaining, running up and down will not help you. Go back to the land register and ask her that you had placed a caution, it has been removed. She will explain to you why it has been removed or the circumstances under which your caution has been removed from that particular piece of land. But also, you should know this. If you put a malicious caution on somebody else's property, you can suffer damages. You may be asked to pay damages for causing somebody not to enjoy their property. So you must be careful when you are putting a caution that it is justified, that it is truthful, and you are being honest in this matter. Malicious cautions can be removed by the registrar. And in addition to that, the registered owner can sue you for preventing him or causing him not to have quiet enjoyment of his property. So it is important that you be truthful, that the caution is warranted and is not malicious. Otherwise, you can be sued and you will pay damages. You can be sued, na utalipa watu damages for interfering with the quiet enjoyment of the property. Now, I have talked about cautions. Let us look at restrictions. So what are restrictions? Restrictions now are normally put on a title, again, still by the land registrar on behalf of the national government or the county government, and they're normally put there by the registrar. So they're normally put on a title to prevent fraud or improper dealings normally. So a restriction is normally put for a certain period of time to allow certain things to happen. For example, if the government is investigating a title, they think it is fraudulent. If the CRI are investigating a title, there will be a restriction put on the title saying that this one has been put there by the county government of this area on the allegations of fraud and the suspicion of fraud. So restrictions are put on a property for the purposes of allowing investigations to go on or for the purpose of preventing fraud or improper dealings in that piece of land. So even in issues of situations of compulsory acquisition, the titles will be restricted to prevent dealings in them again until the process of compulsory acquisition has been completed. If there are investigations on the piece of land, maybe they are suspecting it is public land, they are suspecting the title has been fraudulently obtained, they can put restrictions to allow investigations. But once the investigations are over, Once the reason why the restriction has been put there is over, the restriction is lifted, and then you can continue to deal in your land in any manner that you want. Again, how do you know that you have restrictions? Again, you must do a search at the land registry. It will also tell you that there's a restriction on the title. Normally, these cautions and restrictions are entered on the title. Even freehold titles have a section for cautions, restrictions, encumbrances. They are normally listed there on the title. And if you see a caution, you must find out what is going on. If you see a restriction, you must find out to see what is going on. Don't just push yourself and deal in this land, yet you saw very well that there are reasons. There were things preventing one from dealing in that particular piece of land. So these restrictions, these cautions, nabebesha ardhi mzigo. Sasa kama unataka hiyo ardhi, you'd want to deal in that land, lazima huu mzigo uwekwe chini. Lazima huu mzigo utolewe. Otherwise the land is too heavy to carry. So let us be careful that before we deal in any piece of land, let us do the official searches. Beyond confirming the ownership, look out for things like restrictions, look out for things like cautions. Ensure that these have been dealt with or removed before you can deal in this piece of land. Because what these restrictions do and what these cautions do, they prevent dealings in this piece of land that can be detrimental to the person who has put the restriction or the caution. So when you find them in your official search, please deal with them before you can purchase this land or before you can deal in this land. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to me. If this is your first time to watch us, please hit the like button and subscribe to our video so that next time when we post another video, you'll be able to get it quickly. We are talking on everything land. So next time we shall talk about encumbrances. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.